At the restaurant, my sister announced to everyone, "Rachel, go find another table. This one's for family, not adopted girls." They all laughed and agreed. Then the waiter placed a $3,270 bill in front of me for their entire dinner. I'm Rachel, 27, and I've lived with this family since I was 5. 22 years of being reminded I don't belong. Tonight was supposed to celebrate Victoria's real estate deal, the one my parents financed with $200K they refused to lend me when I started my design business 3 years ago. The evening had been brutal. Victoria bragging about her new Mercedes, Kenneth discussing his bank promotion, my mother beaming with pride, asking questions, offering congratulations. When I tried mentioning my major client, a $50K contract I just landed, my mother cut me off. "That's nice, dear. Kenneth, tell us more about your bonus." By dessert, I'd retreated into myself. The familiar numbness, this was my role. The outsider, the charity case they kept around to feel good about themselves. Then the waiter approached with the leather holder. He placed it directly in front of me. "What's this?" I asked, confused. Victoria's laugh was sharp. "Oh, didn't we mention? You're paying tonight. Consider it your contribution to the family." I stared at the total. $3,270. They'd ordered the most expensive wines, multiple appetizers, premium steaks, 3 lobster tails. Kenneth had ordered 3 desserts just because he could. "I can't afford this," I whispered. "Of course you can," Victoria said sweetly. "You just told us about your big client. $50,000, wasn't it? This is nothing to you now." The truth was that $50K was spread over 6 months, and most was already allocated to business expenses and the student loans my family refused to help with. This single dinner would wipe out my emergency fund, but I couldn't make a scene. Couldn't give them more ammunition to call me ungrateful. "Think of it as your adoption fee," Victoria added, smirking. 22 years late, but we'll take it." The table erupted in laughter. My father clinked his wine glass in agreement. My mother dabbed her lips with her napkin, not even looking at me. With shaking hands, I pulled out my credit card. The waiter took it away. I forced myself to smile, to sip my water, to pretend this wasn't devastating. Victoria was already talking about their Tuscany vacation. My parents were planning to join. Nobody asked if I wanted to come. They never did. When the waiter returned, I signed with numb fingers. $3,270 for the privilege of being humiliated. "Well, that was lovely," my mother said. "Same time next month?" "Next month." They expected this to become regular. I opened my mouth to protest, to finally say enough was enough, when I felt a hand on my shoulder. "Sit down, Rachel." I turned. My stomach dropped. James Chen, the CEO I'd been pitching to for 6 months, the $50K client. He'd been sitting 2 tables over the entire time, watching everything. "Mr. Chen, I started, mortified. He walked past me to my family's table and placed his business card down. His expression was ice. "I'm James Chen, CEO of Chen Industries. Rachel's new client." He looked at each of them. "I just watched you humiliate the most talented designer I've ever worked with." Victoria's smug smile faltered. James turned to me. "Rachel, I'm tripling the contract, $150,000, and I'm moving my company's entire $3 million annual marketing budget to your firm. Exclusive contract, 5 years." My sister's face went white. My father's fork clattered onto his plate. "Also," James continued, pulling out his phone, "I recorded everything. Adoption fee, financial abuse is a crime in Washington state. I'm sending this to my lawyer tonight." He looked at my parents. "Gregory, I'm also on the board of First National. Interesting loan applications you have pending. The ones for Victoria's next development project." My father stood up, stammering. "Now, wait a minute. I'm not finished." James's voice cut through the restaurant. "Kenneth, I believe your bank requires employees to maintain certain ethical standards. Wonder what your compliance department would think of this." Kenneth had gone completely silent, staring at his plate. James turned to Victoria. "And you, proud real estate investor, how many of your deals were funded with money meant for Rachel? Because I'm very good at forensic accounting." The entire restaurant had gone quiet. Even the kitchen noise seemed to stop. James pulled out his wallet and handed me $3,300 bills. "Your money back, plus interest for emotional damages." He placed another card on the table. "My attorney, call him tomorrow, Rachel. We're exploring all legal options." Then he looked at my family one final time. "I'm buying this restaurant next week, part of my commercial real estate portfolio. You're all permanently banned, and Rachel," he smiled, "welcome to the family business. Real family doesn't charge admission." My mother started crying. Victoria's hands were shaking. My father looked like he'd aged 10 years. James offered me his arm. "Shall we discuss your new role as creative director? Starting salary is $200K plus equity." I stood up, legs trembling, and took his arm. As we walked toward the exit, I heard Victoria's voice, small and desperate. "Rachel, wait." I didn't look back.